Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
How are you doing?
We are all fine.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can have the screen now. We are
Oh,
seeing.
okay. Actually, I like oranges. I mean, this afternoon, as I was coming to campus, I passed by the TC. I bought some oranges. I also took a pic with the seller. As you can see, I was very excited to get the oranges. Beside me, there was a man who was talking a lot with the customer. You know, I don't like noise. I had to get my things and quickly left. But the seller was good, he was amazing, was attracting. I think we should be like that seller, as you can see the woman. Also, there are cassavas. I preferably like cassava, but for today, I felt like taking oranges. Yes. That's remind me. Thomas, what did you have for lunch?
Yes, for me today, I only took this fresh fruit.
You took what?
Fruits.
Oh, you also took fruits. Wow, you also like fruits.
Yes.
That's good. What can you tell about the picture?
Yes, I can talk about like the taste and preference and the consumer's income.
Oh, so you're saying I had the test, the personal, the preference. That's really good. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we are getting you.
Sorry, there's somebody who was calling me. But if you can now get me, that's good. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we are getting you very clearly.
Yes.
That's good. That's good. Even cassava is good, bring energies to people. The oranges are good, can make juice. Which fruits did you buy, Thomas?
For me, I bought oranges.
You also bought oranges.
Yes.
Okay, good. What about you, Father? What did you have for lunch?
Yes, sir, this afternoon, I had my lunch, which was very enjoyable. My meal was a feast, stew, and matoke.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at today's lesson. We are going actually to look at some similar. We're going to look at demand. Demand in simple terms is the desire and ability for consumer to purchase a particular quantity of a good or a service at various prices during a specific period of time. Just like you see, Thomas was able to purchase some fruits, even me, I also purchased some fruits. Father was able to purchase his fish for his lunch, meaning we all had the desire, but also we had the ability. That was the money that empowered us to get all that we wanted at that time. And that's what we call demand. Demand actually is when you have the willingness to buy a product or a service in the market. Our demand is typically expressed as relationship between price and the quantity demand. So the price will always determine the quantity demanded. It can also be shown on a demand curve in the next slide here. Are you able to see the illustration?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So in the table, we can see there is price rated RS and quantity demanded. So as I told you that demand is always the relationship between price and quantity demanded. As when the price increases, if you can see very well, when the price was at the rate of 1, the quantity demanded was 600 units. As the price increased to 2 rupees, the quantity demanded also decreased to 400 units. As we continued up to 5, when the price was at 5 rupees, the quantity demanded was at 100 units, meaning as the price increases, the quantity demanded keeps on reducing. Can we see that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it can also be graphically represented as graph 1 shows the demand curve. The demand curve here and the demand curve, the quantity demanded is at the x-axis or horizontal axis, whereas the price for the units in rupees is at the y-axis or the horizontal axis. And upon joining the points after plotting, it brings to us what is known as the demand curve. Okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you see my cursor?
Yes, sir.
Good, good, good. So this is the illustration of the relationship between demand and price. And we have seen that as the price increases, the quantity demanded reduces. And as the price reduces, say it comes back to 4, the quantity demanded increases from 100 to 200. So in the next thing we're going to look at under demand is the law of demand. The law of demand simply states that as the price of a good or a service decreases, the quantity demanded for that good or a services increases. And as the price of a good or a service increases, the quantity demanded decreases, leaving other factors constant, or what I called here all else being constant. So if we were to leave other things constant or untouchable, if the price of a good increases, its quantity demanded reduces, as we have seen in the previous illustration of the demand curve. Are you able to see back the demand curve?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
We are
Yes.
getting it.
As the price was at 5 rupees, the quantity demanded was low at 100 units. But as the price reduced to 4 rupees, the quantity demanded started increasing. It increased from 100 to 200 rupees. As they continue reducing, the quantity demanded also continued increasing. And conversely, or vice versa, when the price is low, that's at 1 rupees, the quantity demanded will be 600 units. But as the price start increasing, we see that the quantity demanded also keeps dropping or decreasing. That's simply what we mean by the law of demand. As the illustration of the law of demand are hereby. Are you able to see the illustrations?
Yes, sir.
Yes. In the first arrow from the left to right, when the price goes up, what's the response? On the arrow pointing down next.
The quantity demanded goes down.
Very good. As the price goes up, the quantity demanded goes down. And when the price goes down, what is the response to the quantity demanded? Thomas, can you tell us what is the response when the price goes down?
The quantity demand goes up.
The quantity demand does what? Be audible. Put the phone near your mouth. Put the microphone of the phone near you.
The quantity demanded goes up.
Okay. When the price goes down, the quantity demanded goes up. As you can see in the table 2 is the demand schedule. When the price was at 1, the quantity demanded was 500. But as the price increased to 2, then the quantity demanded had to reduce to 400. As also the price continued increasing, the quantity demanded reduced, and which can be plotted on the graph here to show the demand curve. Actually, the law of demand and they can well be understood after studying well the demand curve. They are not different, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's now look at the types of demand. We're going to look at the different scenarios of demand. The first one is the individual demand, which refers to the demand of a product by individual consumer. This where like a person goes to the market or to a place of sale and demand for something, maybe say cooking oil or tomatoes or maybe onions or maybe a book for a student or any elite or a pen. That's what we call individual demand. Demand for a product by individual consumer. Next is the market demand. Market demand represents the total demand of a product in a given market or industry, or it's the sum of all individual demands for that product. So like for example, if I go and I buy a pen, Okwiri also goes and buy a pen. Also, Father Joel goes and buy a pen. All those are individual demand, but when we put them together and gets a total, that's what we call the market demand. It can be graphically represented as shown hereby. Are you able to see the graphs?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So graph Y plus graph Y gave us to a total market demand of graph of quantity C. So we can see part A is the individual demand. When you add also an individual demand, we get what we call the market demand. At first, this person, the first person demanded for 2 quantity when the price was at P1. This other person demanded for 3 quantities of a certain commodity. And the next purchase, when the price reduced, this person had demanded for 4 quantities and the other person demanded for 6. So here at the market demand, it is the addition. When you add the 2 plus 3, you have to get 5, okay? And the other person, And in the next purchase, when the price reduces to P2, you add 4 plus 6, and then you get 10. That's what we call the summation of individual demand, which gives us to market demand. Are we together?
Yes.
Good. So on the continuation, we have what we call composite demand. Composite demand is a situation in which a good or a resource is demanded for multiple uses or purposes. Who can give us an example? A good can be used for different purposes. Which example of a good can be used for different uses? Pardon?
Vehicle.
Pardon?
Vehicle. Vehicle.
A vehicle?
Yes.
How can a vehicle be used for different purposes?
It can be used for transportation, and afterwards you can sell it as a good to get income.
Okay, Thomas, well put. Can be used for transportation, and then again you can sell it. Okay, well trial. Okay, Father, give us a
Yes,
example. Yes.
Example is the electricity.
Okay.
Electricity can be used in various, like use it as a light, use it for cooking, and you can use electricity also for other purposes.
Okay, very good. You can see you can use electricity for ironing, for cooking, and for lighting. Also, the other example is water. You can use water for drinking, you can use water for cooking, and also you can use water for washing or even bathing. Are we together? So,
Yes, sir.
so composite demand is the demand for a commodity that serves different uses. So the next is derived demand. It refers to the demand of one good or a service as a result of demand for another or interconnected good or service. So in this case, it means like you demand for a good as a result of another good that is interconnected or is used together. For example, if you buy a car, what do you bring the car?
Pardon, sir.
If you buy a car, what do you need for that car to operate?
We need
Very good. We need fuel. We need also
yes.
diesel, okay? For the engine,
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
Okay. So the demand for fuel as a result of a car, that's what we call derived demand. Because car and fuel are interconnected, because for you to run a car or to drive your car, you need fuel. So initially, you don't need to fuel, but because you need it to run your car, that's what now brings you to go and demand for fuel. So and that's what we call derived demand. Demand for a good or a service as a result of demand for another related or interconnected good as service. You demand for fuel because you have a car. Are we together?
Yes.
Who can give us another example following the way I've explained?
The demand for tractor.
Yes.
demand for tractor comes as a result of desire to cultivate.
Very good. Because you need to cultivate, you demand for a tractor. Okay, think that one is understood. Let's go to the determinants of demand. Determinants of demand, these are factors that influences how much a product a consumer are willing to buy. So we are going to start with the price of the product. As we have already seen in the demand curve and the law of demand, the higher the price, the lower the quantity demanded. And this is the most significant determinant. As the price of a product decreases, the quantity demanded usually increases, as it is stated in the law of demand. And whereas, as the price of the commodity or a service increases, the quantity demanded of that product will automatically or consequently reduces, okay?
Yes, sir.
Like for example, if for example, I'm selling, I like biscuits, I'm selling biscuits. If I'm to put a biscuit at 200 shillings, today I put it at 200 shillings. What do you think? People will come for the biscuits, okay?
Yes.
They will come and buy more of the biscuit. But tomorrow, if I increase it to 500 shillings, automatically people will shy away and start reducing their purchase. If per day maybe I was selling like 10 biscuits, automatically I'll realize that the next day I increase the price to 500. I will start selling only 3 biscuits per day because people will always shy away from the high price commodities. Then next is the income of the consumer. The income level of the consumer has a direct impact on their purchasing power. For normal goods, an increase in the income leads to an increase in demand. But for inferior goods, an increase in income may reduce demand. Hereby, I mean, for example, for you students, if you have been eating, sorry to use this, Chikomando, when you have only 5,000, you will go for Chikomando. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
But when your parents send you 20,000, when your parents send you 20,000, do you think you'll still go for Chikomando? Do you think you'll still go for that Chikomando?
No, you go for pork.
Very good. So hereby means that this Chikomando is an inferior good. When your income increases, automatically the demand for it will reduce because you'll go for a good that you feel like you prefer every day. Thank you very much. The taste and preferences. Consumer preferences, cultural shifts, and advertising can significantly increase demand. Products that become trendy or fashionable may experience increase in demand. Like for example, during lunch, father demanded for fish, me, I demanded for some fruits, and our friend Okuri also took some oranges. That was because of the preferences. The cultural shifts, this comes like, for example, Muslims cannot take pork. So they will always not demand for pork, or the demand for pork in the Muslim society, if the society is occupied by mainly Muslim, the demand will always be very low or completely not there. Then we have price of related goods. The demand for one product can be influenced by the price of a related good. For example, if you go to a shop and they tell you Colgate is 2,000 and ABC ABC is 5,000, but all of them, they are used as toothpaste for brushing. Automatically, if the price of Colgate is 2,000, ABC is 5,000. For the demand for ABC will reduce, and the other one for Colgate will have to increase, just because they serve the same, they are related. Also to substitutes. When the price of a substitute increases, the demand for the original product may increase. I can still use the same example as previously. Or differently, I can still use now bathing soap. If I've been using the Mukwano soap for bathing, and it is now, initially if I've been using Geisha, it at 2,000, but Mukwano comes in and put their price at 1,500. Automatically, I'll go for Mukwano and leave Geisha. Then the complements. Complements as a factor. When the price of a complement product increase, the demand for the original product may decrease. Complements are goods that are used together. Like, for example, who can give me an example of goods that are used together? Thomas, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, further.
Shoe
Pardon?
and the shoe polish.
Okay, shoe and the shoe polish. When the price of a shoe increases, the demand for shoe polish will automatically reduce, because people will no longer demand for more shoes. Are we together?
Yes.
Then the consumer expectation. If you expect the future prices to change, then the income or other factors can influence current demand. If a consumer expects a product's price to rise, they may buy more now. Like, for example, when right now, we know that the price of clothes or our shoes will have to automatically increase in December due to the demand, due to Christmas season. So a rational consumer or a normal person, because they want to meet their desire by December, they will have to buy clothes more in this time before their prices increase. Are we together?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
And we already know, for example, for the farmers, in January, there will be harvest for maize. But right in this, if you anticipate that in January, there will be harvest for maize, it means the maize will be there in bulky, and automatically the price will decrease. So you'll have to buy less of maize right now, because you expect that by January their price will reduce, and then you have to purchase more. Okay? Then
Yes.
population and demographics. The size and demographic of the population can impact demand. For example, an aging population may increase the demand for health care services, because these people are weak, their immune is already weak, so they often visit the hospital. Okay?
Yes.
Then we've come to the end of our today's topic. And what I want you to know about demand for goods and services, it is driven by various factors we have seen, including income, expectation, the demographics, and we have also come to know that demand is the desire backed up with the ability for a consumer to purchase a certain commodity. Understanding demand is essential for businesses to make products and pricing decisions, and for policymakers to formulate effective demand and trade policies. It is a dynamic concept that shapes the interaction of consumers and producers and the market as a whole. So as a student of economics, I now believe that now you have understood what demand is, and if you go back now to the society, I expect you to apply this knowledge to act like somebody who have already knowledge. Are we together?
Yes,
In case there's no,
But we have some questions, sir.
if you have a question, this is the time to raise it.
Sir,
Yes, if you have a question, you're welcome.
We wish that you elaborate something about the demographic.
Okay.
Something like demographic. What do you mean?
Population and demographic. Demographic, these are the terms that are used in the population studies. Mostly, demographic may stand like for the different data statistics related to population, such as the sex, I mean the gender, the age of people, such as the youth, the young, and the elders. Okay?
Yes, we got it.
You got it, eh? Good, good.
Okay, yes.
Father, any question?
Can you give us yes.
Yes.
You have been talking about the law of demand.
Yes.
Relations to services. Can you give us an example of a service whereby the higher the demand for such a service, maybe the lower? Can you give and explain the situation of the service?
Okay. Okay, an example that I can give you in terms of services, I can give you a service of hair cutting. Are we together?
Yes.
How much do they shave here in Nkosi?
Yeah, 2,000.
How about in Kayabwe?
In Kayabwe,
10,000.
5,000.
Where would you wish to go?
Ngozi.
Nkosi, very good. So that means that you are willing to go to here to shave here at Nkosi because the price is low, and you're fearing to go to Kayabwe because the price is high at 5,000. And that's what we mean by the law of demand. Because the price of shaving in Kayabwe is high, you're running away from Kayabwe and coming to shave here in Nkosi where the price is low. Okay?
Yes.
Good. Any other question?
No, let me just apply.
Okay.
Yes, I can say like people prefer government hospitals compared to these private ones because it's cheaper.
Very good. Thank you very much, Okweri.
Services.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, it is true. People like going for government hospitals than the private because often the private hospitals are very expensive and they cannot afford. Thank you very much. We meet in the next lesson, and I encourage you to keep making research to see how this demand is being applicable in day-to-day life. I like that you've realized some of the service like people prefer going to government offices than private hospitals simply because they are expensive, and that's all about demand and the law of demand. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
So we are very grateful.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we thank you.
All right.